In multiple interviews and in your press conference, you've said that you will not discuss the contours of the negotiations on Russian oil. And you said that that's not part of the trade deal, that's a different ministry, that's external affairs. But if there is a lack of bilateral consensus on Russian oil or on defense matters, doesn't that impact in any way, doesn't that impact in a great way on the trade deal too?
No, not at all.
No? How can that be? Because it's a major chunk of the trade that we do with the US.
Well, the buying of crude oil or LNG, LPG from the US is in India's own strategic interests as we diversify our oil sources. But the decisions are taken by the buyers, by the companies themselves. So the trade deal doesn't discuss who will buy what and from where. The trade deal ensures that the pathway to trade is smooth, ensures preferential access. Trade FTAs are all about preferential access to your competition. So today when we've got an 18% reciprocal tariff, we have a preference over other developing nations who are usually our competition. And that's why the free trade deal becomes very attractive.
You're talking about a preferential treatment, and there's a lot of talk that, there's such a lack of trust. There's a trust deficit with the US, even though we have partnered with the US on several fields. But there is a trust deficit now with the Trump administration. How do you trust, especially on defense matters too, how do you trust a country which is dictating to us about what we should do with a third country?
I don't think there's any trust deficit between the United States of America and India, or between our leaders.
So are they not dictating terms about how we should be dealing with Russia? It's there in their...
I don't deal with that subject. You'll probably have to direct your question to the Foreign Office.
Because this is what is happening when, it seems to most people that you're all working in silos, even though you're all part of one government. So how can you not have collective responsibility?
It's not working in silos. We all work together. But if there's a nuance or a detail about the trade deal, obviously if you ask, let's say, the agriculture minister, or you ask the rural development minister, or you ask the telecom minister, or you ask the foreign minister, he wouldn't know the nuances of the trade deal. Obviously he will direct it to me, just as I will direct the issues related to geopolitics to the foreign minister.
Piyushji, I'm going to ask you a question which I asked Dr. Manmohan Singh when the 123 nuclear deal was signed. The allegation is that you have ceded India's sovereignty. What is your response to this?
Absolute nonsense. Whoever is articulating this must be a pretty ignorant person who doesn't understand that this trade deal is truly a labor of love. It's come out of intense negotiations on both sides in the best interests of our country's stated goal to become a developed and prosperous country by 2047, Viksit Bharat 2047, and will provide immense opportunities for our youth, our sisters, our women, prevent huge opportunities for our farmers and fishermen. Our MSMEs will flourish. They'll become the provider of a lot of material that is required by the United States of America. Our textile sector, our footwear and leather sector, our toy sector, handloom, handicraft, auto components, furniture, sky's the limit. As Sergio mentioned, this is a partnership with unlimited potential.
Right. You're talking about job creation, you're talking about influx of foreign exchange, but the Americans are claiming and selling it to their public that Indian billions will flow into their country and their manufacturing sector, which is in a bad way, that is going to be revived with the Indian billions which are coming, not vice versa.
Smita ji, every country is attracting investments across the world. And there's certainly a possibility that some of the Indian companies also will find merit in investing in the US for various reasons. TCS has huge investments in the US in their IT services. Now, I've visited him in a very beautiful center, technology center that TCS has set up right outside New York. Now, does that mean that's bad for India? No, it's great for India. Provides a lot of job opportunities, provides business, and ultimately earnings. We have huge service sector earnings from exports. So I think investments should flow both ways. The other day somebody was asking me in an interview that net FDI probably for a quarter was minus. So we invested more worldwide than what we received in that particular quarter. And he thought I will be paranoid or I'll be worried about it. And my response was that I welcome that. It shows today India has so much confidence. Our Indian businesses are raring to grow and are willing to go to international trade in a much bigger way with a lot of boldness. And it's nothing new. Indian traders and Indian businessmen are known to have traded with the whole world. What was the spice route? What was the imperative, let's say, at one point of time when so many business persons from different parts of India went all over the world and today make India proud with their achievements?
You mentioned one of the goals being that for Viksit Bharat, all this is being done, and you have mentioned in many of your interviews that we are going to have access to high tech from the US. And in the give and take that we need to do, we have to understand, or India has to understand, that getting high tech from the US is one of our prime needs, because that is going to help in the AI sector, in whatever, in doing all that. Because of that, did we have to bite the bullet and give concessions in agriculture?
Not at all. An agreement is a whole series of negotiations around variety of subjects, goods, different types of agricultural and non-agricultural products, services. It's a very vast compass that you are dealing with. It was India's offensive interest. We wanted technology products, GPUs, NVIDIA chips or AI equipment and data center equipment. It's obviously something we want. It's necessary for our growth imperatives. Likewise, the Americans need a lot of things from India, which is good for their economy. So both countries will have offensive and defensive interests, and that's how the package is built up. But there is no correlation that, oh, I give up on agriculture or I give in on another area. On agriculture, you'll be happy to know all of India's sensitivities and the interests of farmers and producers have been safeguarded 100%.
Okay.
I have absolutely no hesitation in sharing with you that amongst other things, we have not opened or given any concession to meat, to poultry, to any kind of GM foods or their products, any soya meal, corn, maize, makka, cereals like rice and wheat, or millets like jawar, bajra, ragi, kodo or amaranth, amongst others, sugar, fruits which are produced in India like banana, strawberry, cherries, citrus fruits, pulses like green peas, kabuli chana, moong, where we have enough production, oil seeds, certain animal feed, groundnuts, honey, malt and its extracts, non-alcoholic beverages, flour and meals, starch, essential oils. I mean, the list goes on and on. Ethanol for fuel, tobacco. These are sensitive to India. We have not given up.
Like the hill states are worried about apples or about tree nuts. They're worried that, and the basic question that we are a food surplus, food producing nation. Why do we need foreign foods?
these are the products which I listed out on which we are surplus, and
Right.
therefore we have not opened it. We are not surplus in apples. The demand of apples is more than 25-26 lakh tons. We produce about 20-21 lakh tons. As we speak, we import 5.5 lakh tons of apple every year, as we speak. And a large quantity of that comes from the United States of America. We have not opened up apples. We have given them a quota
Okay.
on apples which will
And then the
procure
private
from there.
sector
That is less than the current imports of apples from USA.
Okay.
Also, it's important to note, we have been very cautious in our opening up. Today, apple has a minimum import price of 50 rupees. And there's a 50% duty which adds 25 rupees. So 75 rupees is the base or the floor below which goods don't come into the country. So in some sense, that's the protection that the apple farmers also get, that nobody can dump material and make it so cheap that apples don't get a fair value. But even in the quota we have given to the US, the minimum import price is 80 rupees. They make high quality apples. Is 80 rupees. There's a duty on that of 20 rupees. So the landed price of that will be 100 rupees. It's not in competition with our farmers, not in
Doing
competition,
cheaper apples.
not
anyway.
hurting the apple industry over here, and again limited to a quota, which is less than what they are exporting even today to India. And certainly only a portion of the 5.5 lakh tons of apples that we are importing into India. Tell me which farmer in any hill state is hurt by this. Let any farmer explain to me what is the hurt in this. Similarly, tree nuts. We are importing tree nuts for years and years. You may remember in your childhood having had California almonds. Pistachios are imported into the country. We import walnuts in India. As we speak, and for years, from the time the Congress was in power, we have been importing it. There is a shortage of these products.
Okay.
We continue to import. There's not enough land in the hill states where this production can be expanded. Simultaneously, we are talking of technology collaborations to help our farmers increase their productivity, for which we are working with our farmers, our trading partners. I've just tied up with New Zealand
But it
to
can't be
help our...
competitive, right? Because we are not mechanized in our.
Well, we have talked to New Zealand to help them, to bring their farmers to India and technology to India to help our, say, kiwi growers to increase productivity. When I saw the kiwi farms there, I was very impressed. I said, I want to see that happen in India. And it's a part of our FTA to get that technology and their farmers.
But they're highly perishable fruits, so you need food processing, you need all that, which is what our farmers say that we don't have
but
that.
for which Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already focused his effort on it. He's provided a 1 lakh crore rupee agri development fund. We are willing to support food processing in a big way, because bear in mind, even today we are a net exporter of food and fish products.
Right.
We export 5 lakh crores worth of products made by our farmers, produced by our farmers, or the fish catch in India. Our imports are less than that. And we would like to double that 5 lakh crores to 10 lakh crores.
Yeah.
So we are in fact on the contrary asking more and more of our farmers to increase production so that we have surplus capacities. We can process those and export those high quality products.
You did mention
that our farmers
that
produce.
you spoke with some of in the coastal states in Kerala and all. You spoke with the fishery guys.
So much excitement,
Yeah.
so much happiness across the coastal areas. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, all of Odisha, they are all celebrating this agreements between EU and US.
For fisheries, because of that.
Because they have
And the
huge
food
demand.
yeah.
In fact, for your kind information, even when the reciprocal tariff was 50% and the fish, seafood exporters were in serious concerns, we opened up doors for them in the European Union, got all of them listed there.
Correct.
And other markets.
Yeah.
I personally would talk to ministers around the world to look at diversifying our markets. And our fish exports grew by 20% even in the current, it's currently on a growth phase. Despite all the problems we've had for so many months when the
But
tariff
that's
was
because
high.
also the agility of
And I told them,
Okay.
at that point of time. This will be a double advantage for you. Now you have diversified market,
And then?
and now your US market also is opened up. I promised them that once the deal happens, you can actually double your fish exports.
So, coming back to what I was saying is that's the agility of the farmers, the fish farmers, and their ability to speak with you and you helping in opening up the new markets,
Absolutely.
right? But agriculture, states are sensitive when it comes to agriculture. Did you speak with the states with regard to all these issues like the corn, maize, wheat?
We have all kept out.
Correct. But did you speak
We
with
have
the states?
kept every item of sensitivity out of the agreement.
Okay.
What we've opened is items where we have shortage, again calibrated opening, and I see absolutely no harm to our farmers. I'm happy to meet any farm delegations or any persons who may have any misgivings on this. I have an open door policy on this. Our Agriculture Minister, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, even yesterday was in Madhya Pradesh with 9 states agriculture ministers, and they celebrated both these agreements, EU and US. I think farmers understand the huge potential and the possibilities of increasing their income thanks to the new markets that will open up for them. Sadly, a few political elements do try to distort issues or misrepresent them or try to divert from all the support that we have got them in these agreements or mislead them into falsehoods. Gumrah karne ki koshish karte hain, and I think it's very sad that they are playing with the sentiments with these very simple and very well-meaning farmers. I would appeal to everybody to desist from misleading farmers, and if anybody, any farm organization, any journalist, any newspaper, any expert on farm economy has any concerns, please reach out to us.
The reason I'm asking is कि ये जो संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा है, उन्होंने कहा है कि अगले हफ्ते आंदोलन स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं, पूरे देश में आंदोलन होगा. अब क्या आप समझते हैं कि कुछ ऐसे तत्व हैं जो गुमराह कर रहे हैं इन किसानों को?
I suspect that's a very small faction, and it's a breakaway faction which has given this call. Most farmers in the country understand that this is good for them. They are already exporting 5 lakh crores worth of farm and fish products. This can double in the next few years. They understand that we have opened up large opportunities. Let me tell you, all our agri products now will have a lower reciprocal tariff than our competition at 18%. In addition to that, I'll read out some items where we brought down the reciprocal tariffs to 0.
Okay.
Like tea and coffee and its extracts, there'll be 0 tariff. On spices, there'll be 0 tariff. On copra, coconut or coconut oil, there'll be 0 tariffs. On vegetable wax, 0 tariff. Nuts like areca nut, which we make in India. Brazil nuts, cashew nuts, chestnuts, 0 reciprocal tariff. Fruits and vegetables like avocados, banana, guavas, mangoes, kiwis, papayas, pineapple, shiitake mushroom, 0 reciprocal tariff. So Omar Abdullah ji should actually be celebrating. Vegetable plating material.
You would be worried about apples, which you have clarified.
I've clarified that.
Shiitake mushroom, yes, the hill states again you're talking about.
Certain roots like taro, bambara beans, many products. I have a whole list here.
Yeah.
Sesame seeds, processed foods like banana pulp, citrus juices, guava and mango paste, pineapple jam, 0 tariff. So
Again, you're talking about coastal and northeast states.
Everybody stands to benefit.
Yeah.
Everybody across the country.
Right.
Their interests have been enhanced to help them become large exporters. Their sensitivities have been respected. I think this is an agreement which calls for a celebration amongst our farmers and fishermen.
Piyush, a little bit of confusion about Indian exports on steel, copper and aluminium. Do they still have that 50%?
No, there's no confusion. Everybody knows, and that's a Section 232 tariff.
Yeah,
it's not a reciprocal tariff. That's a national security clause under which they have carried out an investigation, and these products are at 50% for the entire world.
Okay.
Nothing to do with India.
So
we are on the same footing as any other country in the world.
So what happens when we export a goods which has steel and copper in that? They have to.
They have given us certain exemptions, like aircraft components that we export.
Okay.
Will get zero duty even under Section 232. There are certain auto components where we will get zero duty even if they come under
steel.
232. That's right.
Okay.
So that'll all come out when the final agreement is placed before
Which
the
is
people.
when?
Should take about a month or month and a half. It's a part of the joint statement.
Yeah.
It's declared and announced.
March.
Pharmaceutical, they have not yet come with the final determination.
And this is,
Under
the pharmaceutical
232.
is also very confusing that they're going to have. There is a wordage which is
I'll tell you
ambiguous.
why that wording is not at all ambiguous. The problem is they have not yet come up with the final determination under Section 232, which we don't know what the determination will be. It could jolly well be zero also.
Okay.
So therefore that has been written that we will negotiate and finalize after the 232.
But don't they have it in a blueprint in place? During COVID, the same thing happened. They had a
No,
blueprint.
this is a legal regulatory process. Like we have anti-dumping duty under Director General of Trade Remedies. This is a section in their law, 232, under which when they see a threat to their national security, they can put a tariff universally on everybody.
Including pharmaceuticals.
So pharmaceuticals is currently under investigation. They have not yet decided, but we have an assurance that our pharmaceuticals that we sell from India to the US,
the generic drugs, basically.
generic drugs will get zero duty.
Okay.
Our gem and diamonds have got a zero duty.
Yeah.
Reciprocal tariff.
Let me come to the defense deal, the 10-year defense. How do you? Everybody is asking this. How do we bind ourselves like this with a country which, of late, in spite of what happened during Operation Sindoor,
again,
is
you're going down a path. No, you're going down a path. You can continue to ask questions, but I deal with trade and not with defense. This can best be answered by either the defense minister.
But you did say that we're going to be purchasing in that 5
what
billion.
Did I say?
That
Please read it carefully.
In the three years that we have to buy.
No, we don't have to. We intend to.
Yeah, so the engines
procure
are going to
certain
come.
equipment. No, I've talked about aircraft engines and aircraft parts.
Right.
That's the
Isn't that coming in from defense
civil
also?
aviation
So the defense
requirements.
deal doesn't come into this.
Trade doesn't deal with defense. Trade deals with commercial requirements.
So the GE engines will only be for the commercial ones.
I don't know. You'll have to direct your question to the right.
So 100 billion is how much we have to buy.
We don't have to buy. I'm again repeating.
We've committed
I
to it,
can
right?
give you a copy of the joint statement if that helps you.
100 billion in 5 years we have to do it, right? No, 100 billion a year we have to do.
Let me explain to you. No, there's no such limitation. We estimate that the requirements that we have for import of certain items where the United States has the ability to sell to us. Things like crude oil, LNG, LPG, airplanes, their engines, their spare parts, coking coal. We have 140 million tons steel capacity. We're going to increase that to 300 million tons. Our current coking coal requirement for steel is already $17 billion. That will become probably $30 billion.
So 100 billion automatically ho
So 35 billion a year will be required only coking coal. Now we have 1 or 2 countries.
1 or 2 engines
Excuse
enough.
me. If we have 1 or 2 more countries supplying that, the more the merrier. We get a better deal. We can negotiate smarter and better. Planes are required by India. We already have orders of 50 billion to Boeing for planes, plus orders for engines, plus orders for spare parts. I suspect we'll need anywhere between 80 and 100 billion dollars of just civil aviation related products. We continue to buy a lot of energy needs from all over the world, and that grows every year 8 to 10%, 6 to 8%. Now we will require large quantities. We are setting up data centers. We are developing the AI and quantum computing economy in a big way. All of these will require huge amounts of ICT products. When we estimate these products, currently, as we speak, we are already importing 300 billion a year of these products from different parts of the world. In the next 5 years, we estimate we will need $2 trillion of these products, where America has very good capabilities and capacity to support the Indian economy with high quality at competitive prices. So we hope they will offer us very competitive prices. We intend to purchase a good volume of these products out of our $2 trillion imports.
But intent अलग बात होती है और फिर.
So read the joint statement.
So okay, I'm reading it out from the paper that you've given me. In the event of any change to the agreement.
No, that is not
no,
relevant.
I know. I'm just reading
but
this point.
First, let's close the loop on $500 billion.
Okay.
Please read the $500 billion.
Okay, fine. On the 500 billion itself, right? Now let me come to the point that
so
I have.
Am I right?
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
India intends to purchase.
You think I'm going to negotiate with you? If the Americans couldn't, where do I stand?
They have negotiated very hard, and we've had a wonderful experience negotiating with tough countries across the globe. We've negotiated with Australia, with New Zealand, with 27 nation bloc of European Union countries.
Correct.
With Oman, with
so
UAE.
I stand a chance with you.
With 4 nation EFTA bloc, with
the
UK.
Terminology which the MEA uses usually, they say free and candid discussions, which means कि थोड़ी बहुत तो गाली गलौच हुई होगी behind closed doors.
ईमानदारी से कभी भी नहीं हुई और किसी देश के साथ नहीं हुई है.
अच्छा.
We have had such wonderful negotiations. I assure you, we've had wonderful negotiations. We have always been smiling, cracking jokes, laughing, having a tea break where we jostle on the quality of cookies and pastries that are served when we are negotiating in their countries.
What do you serve?
Where they are praising the wonderful Indian hospitality and our variety of cuisines.
Did you serve millet samosas?
We have, by the way.
Good heavens. Okay. Good for
and
you.
we've offered them a number of millet products. And by the way, countries with whom we are talking are now asking us to support them to grow millets in their country for 2 reasons. It doesn't take that much water, grows very fast, is very high on nutrition. So millets is becoming the flavor of the world gradually.
Sure.